Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to create a one-dimensional array of doubles and then use the println and printf methods to print the values of the arrays. So I'm going to start off by creating an array of double, and the opening and closing of the square brackets indicate that there's going to be a collection of doubles, so that's called an array. And my array name will be array of doubles, and I'm going to give it a size of 5, so I'm only going to use the array to store 5 doubles. So you can actually access each index of the array using its index value. So 0 is its first spot, so I'm going to save the value 100.1. And so with doubles you can actually store numbers with precisions, and with doubles you can go up to 15 or 16 decimal point. And then I'm going to do the same, so I'm just going to change the index. So I'm just going to copy what I have there. So that's going to be 222, and that index 2, and our third element of the array would be 300 and 333, and at element 3 of element 4, index 3, because we start at index 0, so this is element 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to have the value 400, 444, and at our last element would be index 4. It's a bit confusing, but yeah, and 500 and 5555. Okay, next I want to print the values of our array. I'm going to use a for loop for that, so I'm going to start at integer counter, and that's just the same variable that I've used in the table in the Excel sheet here. And I'm going to start from the 0 index so I can print each value of the array. Then I'm going to loop until our counter reaches the end of the array, and then here I'm going to use the length property. The length property will give me the length of the array. This is not to be confused by the length method that we use when we want to know the number of characters we have in our string. Okay. Now here I'm just going to use system.out.print. Now first I'm going to use a println method to print each value of our array. And I was going to say at index. And we can specify the index, so I'm just going to say counter +1, so that to display to the user index 1, 2, 3. But for us, the programmer, we know that we start at index 0. And here I just want to say is, and I could use now the array, my array, and the variable which is counter. So this is going to be a much faster way than actually going. You can also print each individual of the array like this. At index, for example, you can do this manually. That's also another example. Yeah, and you can do the same, like hard code. Like this at index 1. That's also another way of printing out the elements of the array, but this is really a harder way, especially if you've got a larger array. So this is probably doable if you've only wanted these 5 elements, but with larger arrays up to hundreds or thousands, this is not a feasible solution. So the faster way is to actually use a for loop. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. So this is the hard-coded one. So that's lines 13 to 17, and this is the loop version. Now, if you wanted to print these to 2 decimal places or 1 decimal place, you can also use another method. It's called the printf method, or it's got a formatting printf, double at index, but here you can specify everything at inside the string. So what you say is you indicate that there's going to be a formatting rule, and the formatting rule starts with a percentage sign, and point 2 saying I want this to be printed to 2 decimal places, or you can even do 1 decimal place. And then you need to indicate that there's going to be a variable of the data type double. So F is for float, which also applies to doubles in this case. You can also do a new line this way, so backwards slash and then N. Okay, at index, right. So I can get rid of all of that, and we do this using the comma. That's what changes. Okay, let's print that and see what we get. Okay, so that's what we have there. Okay, now to indicate that there's going to be a counter, I could also say there's going to be a float at index, a decimal, because our counter is actually an integer. And then I could say counter +1. Let's see. Okay, so this is the hard-coded statements from line 13 to 17. And then this is println and printf. Now there's no difference because this is 1 decimal place anyway. This is println and printf. Println 2 decimal places. Println is printing the whole decimal with all its decimal places. Okay, so that's the second one. The second statement is the printf. You can also change this to 2 decimal places. So I'm just going to run the program, and you can see that it's printing now to 2 decimal places. If you didn't want the print line at all, you can also get rid of that. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, there we have it. You can also get rid of this part and then keep it as a loop. And that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.